Welcome to this episode of Skald's Tale Eclipse. I am Christopher Rondeau, the main storyteller for this game and the owner of Skald's Tale Entertainment LLC. Skald's Tale is a brand that transcends all kinds of stories in all sorts of mediums, and we're happy to bring you this Pathfinder 2nd Edition game. Before we jump in, we do want to take a moment and thank our musical partners. First and foremost is Harrison Scannell, who has written our theme music, as well as some character themes that will be featured later on in the season. We have ambiance tracks by Tabletop Audio that provides these 10-minute clips that are amazing and really can set a mood, as well as some incidental tracks by battlebards.com. We do have a couple artists we used as well. Gabriel Picker kind of provides our background maps. Philip Wright does provide some of our maps as well, and David North provides some tokens that we are able to use and create. Lastly, we do want to thank TTRP Theater, who has allowed us to use their creative space. You can check out the links of their shows down below or on social media, where you'll get live updates of anything going on within that channel. Scott's Tale Eclipse is also part of the Roll20 Creator Spotlights and is part of their Spotlight program. So if you look up Roll20 Spotlight, the hashtag on Twitter, you'll see a whole bunch of shows, including ours, that are part of that program, and we encourage you to take a look at those and see what may interest you. But now, let us start our show. Bad things happen in darkness. What is unseen is perhaps the most scary. Often I look out into the darkness and wonder what terrors await me. I often wonder during those early days what would happen without the protection of the light, and what would happen to the world. It was a fateful day when the world turned dark, when the flock of ravens appeared to distract us from the true horrors that were to come. The day the sun turned dark, blocking our only protective shielding. I remember the day well. People were initially okay until the weight of the consequences sat in. When dark things began to arise and unexplainable phenomena happened, chaos ensued and people pointed to the kings and queens for answers. However, this was only the start. Creatures that only can exist in darkness made their way to the public eye, some with altruistic intentions and others with wicked plans. I am here to tell you this story. The story of the day that the sun was taken from us and the ensuing weeks that followed. A story of heroes and villains that defined history. Please hear the story and hear the events that transpired during these foreboding times. For I have the true story, not the lies you may have heard. My name is Christopher Rondeau, and welcome to Skald's Tale Eclipse. We pick up still at the time of the eclipse as our heroes are looking down at these standing stones that seem to have opened portals to other worlds, other dimensions, other planes of existence. Something weird happened. Some magical effect. We can call it fate, destiny, but something has brought these people together. And it just seems to be these marks that they have acquired. Two of them appeared to have been blessed by demigods. They have wandered, met people like the Grim Reaper and Dav, who blessed them with this gift. Two of them seem to have been blessed by the planes themselves, touching the portals to the hells and the heavens seem to have given them this mark. But before we continue on with that story, we look at another. We see this man sitting down, and We see a small cot, simple door, dresser, no furniture, no excessive furniture or paintings on the walls or anything like that, and just a singular window. And we see his earrings, the three on the left, two on the right, the two at his bottom lip, one in the nose, and the chain that goes from his bottom lip to his ear. See the tattoo of his eye on his forehead and the two on his wrist, and he sits there and he just looks out the window for a brief moment, and he seems to fall over in pain. He quickly rips off his shirt as we begin to see four marks beginning to engrave on his body, two above his on his chest and two on his shoulder. As we begin to see these four marks begin to engrave. Is you notice this for a brief moment. You see the orb begin to light up. We see this man again. We can see him for half a second, maybe, as these four marks seem to be becoming tattooed on his body. And that's where we're going to pick up. It's just half a glimpse, and I think Demira is the only person who would have recognized it. Clearly the same man as before, though.
Is this after our rest?
No, so we haven't quite hit the rest yet. This is
Okay.
pretty immediate after you guys effectively you made your decision, caught your breath for half a second, made the commitment to rest, and then this thing happens. Perhaps you are off alone, setting up a bedroll or something. Maybe someone is lighting a fire somewhere, and you just have a brief moment to look at the sword.
I don't think Demira sees any point in sharing this right now.
Okay. Everyone else besides Demira can perceive for me.
Not starting off great today.
The 12, it could be worse. Nice.
I've got a 5, of course, compared to Misty's 22. Has anyone else noticed that Bork's perceptions are continuously low? Like
Those
he,
could be a trend.
yeah, it's like he's permanently distracted and unaware of his world.
I see.
He's just like la la la.
I mean, he has a new pet, so
Yeah, true.
He's probably sneezing as he scratches the pet.
And his eyes are all starting to water.
Okay. Doc and Misty can see a small figure moving within the tree line.
Which side?
Great.
Top left.
Top
Yeah.
left. Great.
Doc would be like, I think we might have more company.
More dogs for me to make friends with?
And for a brief moment, we see we can see the leathers of an elven boot, and this kid gets thrown forward. He kind of falls down onto his knees and hands and pushes himself up. Bork and Demir will recognize this as Randy, who wanted candy.
You want candy?
Hello there. There was this scary elf lady who just pushed me forward. I'm so sorry. Hello. My name is Randy. I'm sorry I followed you. I was just a little kid. It's okay. Good job with the dark elves. I haven't seen the sun in like a week and a half, so that was kind of pretty.
I'm gonna be going now. Have a good day.
You've been following us for some time,
No, you have no proof of that.
except that the Dark Elves were hours ago.
Did I say
Wait,
dark? I
scary
didn't say
elf-
dark elves. I'm just gonna move that way.
Wait, you said
Come
something about
here,
a scary
Randy.
elf lady?
Oh, don't worry about that. I think that's fine. Come here, Randy.
What?
I think I can get home now. It's okay.
He doesn't say, Pork doesn't say anything more. He just kind of goes, with the one finger, like, come here.
His like shoulders slump
Come
forward,
here.
and he approaches. Where is there a walkway? Go here.
Pork is gonna put his arms on his hip, and this is less of a I'm gonna kill you intimidate, more like a fatherly you're in trouble kind of intimidate. 14.
I don't think you need a roll for this kid to be intimidated.
Young man, explain yourself right now. Why have you been following us?
I'm so sorry. They say that if you want to have stories to tell, you need to go get stories. So I thought I would follow you and try to get a story. And I got a story. So I guess we're good now. I guess I can go home. Thank you. I feel very reprimanded. I feel great. So I guess we're good now. It was a pleasure.
It is nighttime, I think. Traveling now would be dangerous. So, you are going to spend the night with us here, where we can keep
Oh,
you
is
safe.
that a goblin dog? Oh, cool. Oh, goblin dog.
His name is Fluffy.
Yes, this is great. Just achoo. Yeah. Okay. Oh, so cute.
Isn't it just?
Mm.
Such a good Fluffy. I love my Fluffy. As I was saying, you're going to stay the night with us, and we'll part ways in the morning, assuming you can get to the village safely.
You must be kidding. The morning will be equally dark as the night, so this kid has a chance of surviving after we wake up, exactly the same as if we would let him go now.
Well, that's a fair point. Well, Randy, I guess you're stuck with us until we get back to the village.
That's not what I
great.
meant. I meant he can go now.
You know what? I can like catalog your whole adventures. I can go around just tell you tell everything you need to know. I'm very good at music. Yeah, very good.
Well, that sounds good, but again, this is only for now, Randy.
Hey kid, do you have a death wish?
Do you?
No, but I'm asking you.
Although it's pretty
This-
funny that he asks you.
Does anyone have a death wish?
I don't know, because I think you do, because you are very excited to stay with us, and wherever we are going and whatever is going to happen for us probably ends up in death of all of us, including you, if you go with us. So I would suggest that you fuck off now.
Not all of us, certainly.
That's a
At least not
dirty
me.
word. You're not supposed to say that.
I agree. You shouldn't say that to a child.
And a child
What's
is not
wrong with
supposed to be
you?
here or go anywhere with us.
I think you'd
He's
be
here
safer with
now.
us.
We're going to have to keep him safe. It is that simple.
Do you have parents?
Oh,
Yeah, that's a good question. Randy, where's your parents?
they're back at the Vagabond Crossroads.
And do they know where you are?
Maybe. I didn't ask.
That's totally a no.
I am going to fold my arms and well then, that's not good. We're gonna have to make this whole trip a little bit faster.
No, Bork, what about you take the kid home and we do the rest? You know, Demira, Doc, me, and you two just go, because parents will go crazy about that kid, you know? And we can take care of the things. I will protect your lady, you know?
I don't know. What if you guys get in trouble?
Well, no. We have Doc with us. Can you get in trouble with Doc?
He's very small.
I don't know. Dammy, what do you think?
Think we're all meant to go to the lake together? And
God.
I don't think that this child is going to be safe going home alone. So
I mean, I got here fine. Wait,
Exactly.
no, I want to go. Yes, I cannot go home alone. I should follow you to the lake, and yeah.
And you most certainly did not get here fine alone. Think about it. You were close behind us. If you had any trouble, we would have heard it and gone to your rescue. Us and any scary elves hiding in shadows.
It's very, 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 very scary. You're pretty nice.
I don't know. Doc, what do you think?
Well, I suppose the way forward probably would be a bit dangerous, but we have done pretty well so far. It seems the kid has a bit of spirit for adventure. If we could promise his safety, I don't see why they couldn't come with us.
There we go. And besides, Misty, if you're afraid for the child's safety, think about it like this. We bring the child home, along with the other missing one, and maybe they'll give us a little extra bonus for keeping this one safe. You could call it a finder's fee if you want.
Well, there's no guarantee that will happen, so...
No, there's no guarantee that the sun will come up in the morning either, but, you know, oh wait.
No, like, there is a guarantee that sun will not come up in the morning, so... That's
It might, maybe. We don't know.
Technically, the sun doesn't rise, but we can get past that.
What do you mean? It clearly does.
Well, nothing. That's a talk for another time.
But I think there's another topic we are missing here, which should be more important.
And I am assuming that's the scary man we have to get to as quick as possible?
No, that's actually why we have a sort of an elf, very scary
no,
elf
don't worry
following
about
us.
that. No, there's nothing. Nope, nothing to worry about.
I'm not sure how that's
certainly-
the nothing.
There's certainly not an elf who's been my fiance's head made hiding in the shadows. That would be ridiculous.
what?
What?
Wait,
What?
she's here?
What are we talking about? I forgot. Let's move on.
Bork? Wait, she came?
What? I don't know what.
You just said.
Said what? I said it wouldn't be her. That'd be ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. I mean, why would she follow you?
Wait, so
Silly.
she never went back to my father?
Look at those pretty stars.
Oh, that makes the letter I sent him very confusing.
Why? What was in the letter?
Well, remember, I promised her that I would send my father a letter stating that I was responsible for all this, so that she wouldn't be punished in any way, but she never came back. So,
Well, so Doc, how long do you think it'll take us to set up camp?
Well, it depends on how long we stand around and talk about it instead of actually doing it.
Right. I only have 2 tents. So,
I have a tent as well, although it is sized for me, so
well, that leaves Misty. Oh, I see what's going to happen here. All right. At that, Bork pulls out the 2 tents, hands one to Misty and one to Demira.
I look at the tent like, what am I supposed to do with that?
I
You
can
don't know
show you
how
set it
to.
up.
I'll set it up for you then.
It's not like it's raining. I can sleep under the clear sky. That's what I usually did. Done.
Well, I understand that, but if you can sleep in some comfort, after
You
all,
do realize
you do
that
deserve
inside the
it.
tent, and someone attacks me, I have less chances of escaping or noticing that someone attacks me. I can even suffocate if someone puts it on me and kind of like just, things happen.
I understand that those are such things you would have had to face on your own. However, we will take turns keeping watch. Doc,
I mean, I can keep a
myself,
watch first.
and the shadows, who are not Demira's handmaid at all. Just
I mean, if you're not
random elf.
if you're not going to give me a clear answer, if the person who's following us, we know it or not, I'm gonna just find it and kill it because it's a danger.
She's a friend. Well, friend is a loose term. Ally, protector, defender.
that is quite
Don't
the
worry.
bluff. How are you going to find anything in the dark?
I can see in the
Yes.
dark, not that like you think that I can't. Okay.
You can't even.
All
find
right,
your
all
way.
right. I will set up Misty's tent for her and Demira's. Misty, you said you wanted first watch. That's fine by me. Is it fine by you, Doc?
Certainly, I won't oppose.
Well, then Doc and I will take the crappier shifts, if that's all right with you, Doc.
I suppose I'm being volunteered, so as you were.
Right, so would you like the second shift or the third shift?
I will take the third. It would be the time when the sun would rise, and normally that would be the time I do the prayers to my god, so whatever,
All right,
close
then.
enough.
So then, Misty, you could take the first watch and then sleep through the night. I'll take the second watch. And then Doc, and then Demira will bring out the morning. And that is all the shifts covered. Yes?
That
And
sounds-
then the skid is going to take a shift.
But there's only 4, and he's only a child.
But he wants an adventure, so he should learn.
I'll take a shift. I'll do
Very
it. Achoo!
well.
I'll do it.
You could take a shift with me and Fluffy then.
I was wondering the kid could take a shift with me.
Well, that was surprising. All right, then. Anyone opposed to this idea? Yes, Randy?
I would like to take a shift with Fluffy.
But I
Oh.
could teach you how to use knives.
I would like to
That
take a
is
shift with
not
the scary
something
girl.
you teach a child.
I was his age when I learned to throw knives at my enemies.
Well, and I was his age when I learned the way of the sword. That's a fair
So?
point.
And if he's going with us, he needs to learn not to pet animals.
Achoo!
It would be good if he knew how to defend himself, at least basically.
All right, but if anything happens to poor little Randy, Misty, I won't be happy, and I'll hold you responsible. I expect to see him when I get up for my shift.
Yeah, right, as if that scares me.
Bork points to the 2 decimated dogs that he killed in 6 seconds. It might just a little should.
Before you even touch me, I will be gone from your sight.
Impressive. You know, there's an elf in the woods I think you would get along well with.
Huh, perhaps, she will come out while we
They
will
look
be
very
playing around with
similar.
Andy.
At that,
I have to write another letter.
I turn and start setting up the tent while continuing listening to them and occasionally chiming in over my shoulder.
Oh, I got some paper here. Yeah, that's here. This is my mail. I mean, paper.
There you go.
Are there already words on that paper?
I got a blank sheet here.
Oh, parchment isn't an issue, but I appreciate it. That's very generous of you.
He does this, and he has this backpack, and you can just see like full of like inkwells. Most of them are empty. Paperwork that is slightly crumpled, and then it's like, oh, okay, sure. If you have the, okay, I'll just go be with the scary lady.
Right, I'm gonna stay up for a little bit. I have something I have to make. So.
All right, your tents are set up. Good night. Good night,
Mark.
Demira.
Good night.
Good night, Misty. Good night, Doc. Good night, Randy.
Good night.
Good night, random elf in the shadows that we totally don't know. And at that, he lies down on the floor and uses his backpack as a pillow and almost immediately falls dead asleep.
It sounds good. Any scenes we want in the evening? Shall we move along?
Demira's gonna try to make the poison for Misty.
Okay. Crafting check, please.
Okay.
15. Nice.
Well, I have a +8, so.
Okay. Just looking up some rolls real quick. So, you want to sit down and you rolled a 15 for your crafting check. What you're going to get right now is the formula to be able to craft hunter spider poison. It does take a couple days to be able to craft it, so it's just like we can begin the process. You understand the ingredients for it, but if you really want to sit down and create the poison, you kind of need a more controlled setting and a couple days, about 8 hours to do so. So if you're looking to get a long rest, or unfortunately you'll not be able to get this tonight, but you
Right.
understand the process.
Okay. Demira goes to her tent then.
Okay. Misty, as you're going through this watch with this kid, he's like always just kind of like
I mean, he shouldn't have time for that, because I would take him to closer towards these trees here, and I would give him one of my knives. I would take another myself, and I would try to teach him how to throw a knife that it would get stuck, in the tree trunk, And I also would like actually to have a conversation with him, but I'm not sure if we should roleplay or I just tell you the questions I would ask him.
Yeah, we can have a scene. He's terrible at this, by the way. He has like no upper arm strength. He's also a kid, so
Yeah. I would say to him, you do have some potential. Of course, so longer training would be required.
Oh, thank you.
Mm-hmm. So you seek adventures, don't you?
Oh yes. I am going to be the best bard in the land. You will call me a Skald. You could call me Randy.
Yeah, sure. How are your parents?
They're
Do you get
they're
along?
they're busy.
Always
Little.
busy, and you dream of adventures, right?
I dream of music. And yeah, I guess adventures. I mean, we'll go to school eventually, maybe.
Hmm. You know, I have a very awesome school. I went there myself. Like the tutor himself was pretty bad, but I mean, I'm planning on getting rid of him. But the gang itself was really cool, actually. And you know, it's a bit of training for me, and there were boys and girls. I'm pretty sure we could do something awesome from you. And if you have talent for bards, you know.
Uh, so you know, school. It's like great. How much is tuition?
No tuition. You can go for free.
Oh, you're not scary at all. You're quite friendly.
Absolutely. You know, with the skills we learn, then you can do wonders in this world, you know, and then you have kind of the family who will never betray you. We all stay together afterwards, you know.
Oh, is this your family?
Oh, those three guys? No. I'm talking about different family. I'm planning on finding them after all this nonsense will be over.
Oh, okay. Well, I would love to meet your family.
Oh, that sounds amazing. So perhaps then, if you want, you can, you know, convince the big guy that you want to go on a longer adventure with us. Because, you know, after this, we will then go further to find the people I require in my family.
The one with the pet, the green one.
Ah, yeah, the green one. Yeah, indeed.
Oh,
He is tad annoying, but
he's a pushover.
what do you mean a pushover?
I mean, just give him a smile, sing a little music. I'm sure I can make it work.
Oh, God, you know, I really started liking you. We
Cool.
could do wonders together. You have wits, and we need wits, you know, when you go to our school.
Oh, sounds like an enticing school. I have to ask more about that later. But yeah, free tuition. That sounds amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. So talk, smile, as you said, to the big guy. And we will see what can be done then. And for now, take this knife and learn and learn and learn. Try and try again.
Oh, okay. He's gonna be like just trying to like chuck it into trees and work on his aim then.
Now, I will torture him with that for the full kind of my thingy while I have to, you know, my watch.
Sure. Cool. Anything else you guys want to do Overwatch?
I don't.
Cool. So the eclipse sun begins to rise as you guys naturally wake up. You're not waking up with the sun, but we kind of get that. You can kind of stretch. It almost feels like there's almost like a weight on your tattoos. Like it's just kind of like pushing down on you. There's just a slight pressure as if you are wearing just a little more clothing than you would expect to. And it kind of settles into you. It almost feels like it drags you down. But you know, you stretch a little bit and kind of get rid of that feeling. But we are awake the next morning.
Excellent. And no one lost limb or life overnight.
No, we will take long rest procedures, which means we get what back in health? Is it your con times your level? Con mod times your level?
Times your level?
Is it? The character
Plus your level.
regains your character regains hit points equal to their con modifier multiplied by their level.
Wow.
Cool.
You lose one fatigue condition. You are no longer doomed or drained, and you get your spells back for the day.
So what if our con modifier is 0? You get no
you have
health
a
back?
minimum of 1.
Okay.
Yeah, no health back. You never heal. You're always
Yeah.
doomed.
Thank God I'm full on health. But I mean, honestly, before we rest each day, Doc could just spend the rest of his cure fonts to heal everybody because he hasn't used any, I don't think, or he might have used one back in the cave. But either way, we're full now. If anyone's not full health, they should be full health.
That's
I
fine.
am missing what? I was at 29 before we healed. I'm now at 35. So if you're gonna burn a heal, that would probably put me at max now.
Like, you
You're
can burn
saying
it.
you're-
You could have burned a heal before you rested. That's fine.
Before we went to sleep. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Great.
Great. So Randy's there. He's sitting there. He has like this makeshift belt that's holding this dagger on his side. Made probably from like bits and pieces of torn off clothing and some like plant life that he may have found around. He's a lot dirtier than when he went to bed. He from the effort he exuded with Misty, everyone else would recognize that there's like just more dirt on his face, maybe there's a bruise or two. But he is ready to go. He helps tear down and okay. So which lake are we going to?
Lake Wallenpompak. No, we are headed to the one in the northernmost middle part of the forest, I believe.
Oh, okay. Sure. Sure. I know where it is.
Oh, well then, by all means.
Fluffy attempts to beg everyone for food as they're eating their morning rations
God.
with
Achoo!
a charisma of 1.
Yeah, I throw like a glitter spell at it, a little cantrip, like go away.
Demira gives it some of her food.
I
So
ignored
does
him.
Orc. Orc gives him a little food too.
Sounds good. Yeah. We can get traveling. If you leave in the morning, you'll probably get there pretty close to dusk, like a 4 p.m. equivalent for us. And yeah, tell me what you if you want to do anything on the way.
Doc is keeping an eye out for any more elves of any sort of persuasion, as well as these supposed druids that we might pass by.
Okay, go ahead and give me go ahead and perceive for me.
And I get an additional 2 to see anything that's actively trying to hide from me.
So that goes from a 16 to an 18 then. Yeah.
Yeah, you think you get a glimpse of pink hair.
Damn gnomes.
But no druids at this point.
Okay. Well. Yeah, that's all Doc does. He's just being vigilant.
Okay. You guys have a pretty good idea where these druids are. You were kind of given some direction on it. Do you guys want to actively go to their encampments, or are you going to actively avoid it?
I think we're actively avoiding them at the moment.
Okay. Then there will be no interactions with them, and you are able to travel for a good, 7-8 hours and arrive at Luna Lake. Throughout the way, Randy is just kind of like humming to himself, pretty absent-mindedly. Once in a while, he pulls out this book and tries to like open up an inkwell to scribble in it while you guys are walking. His handwriting's atrocious, but he does that. All right, and we arrive at this rather large lake. This lake is pretty long and pretty wide. It goes about half a mile out, so you can see the other side of the shore, but it's fairly substantial. Walk in, we can see a small beach being set up, and seems pretty normal. You can see some fish life within the lake. If you look just in the distance, you can kind of see the movements of the water indicate that there is fish, but nothing terribly of interest.
No immediate signs of demigod inhabitants.
No.
I think Bork would try and start looking around for any signs of the missing child. So, at a 14, I am surveying the area, trying to look for any tracks or any sign, really, at all, of where this missing boy might be.
Okay. Yeah, so you look out to the I just had a mind blank. You look out to the lake, trying to figure out if you can see anything, and there is some movements of larger creatures within the water, but we're not seeing any sort of humanoid figure or anything like that. If you look like around the area, see if there's any evidence of encampments, maybe. We're not even seeing anything like that. Most of the things are like weeks old.
All right. I guess I will turn to the others. I see no sign of the boy or anything else for that matter.
Well, since how none of you are particularly really religious, perhaps I could think on a way to, I don't know, perform some sort of prayer to Luna.
Mira's gonna cast Detect Magic.
So, you try to look for magic, and you ignoring the party. You look towards Randy. Randy has some magic to him.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Not like any items or anything like that. It's just he himself has some magical tendency. Maybe he's innate like you are, innate spellcaster, but you know. But nothing else here is magical. Everything else seems pretty natural.
Perhaps we need to wait. I saw in the crystal ball us seeing her, and it usually shows the future. She does approach Randy and kind of look really close at him.
Hi.
Hi. Have you ever?
Can I tell you a secret?
Sure.
Oh god, this is where Johnny admits he's a demon.
I think the dog is poisonous. I keep sneezing around it. I don't think we should keep the dog. I think it needs a bath. Can we just throw him in the water?
That's just how it is, unfortunately. Bork is very attached to it, so just keep your distance, and I think it'll be okay. But I was gonna ask you, have you ever shown any magical abilities?
What?
Demir will try to show him how to cast let's see, a bard spell. Inspire courage. So she'll hold up her orb and it glows. and she says an incantation. Says, "Here, you try," and she hands the orb to him.
So do I just like, do I just blow on him, or do I
No.
shake it?
How about you try singing? Or,
Uh.
or playing.
Oh, okay. 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 Hi, my name is Randy, and I like some candy, but that isn't important to this tale. I traveled all this way to see the four today, and the sunlight shines on them. So here's what I have to say before the marked are on the way. We must continue to tell the story. 'Cause Randy is ready to leave this town already and follow you to your fate. And the
Tori.
orb glows a little bit, but it's not an inspire courage spell. I did it.
Yeah, you certainly did something, yes. Could she try to recognize spell?
Not a spell. It is more of the orb is reacting to him. Like he can potentially use it as a focus, but he cannot do this.
Well, Randy, she'll take the orb back.
Now I want some candy.
You definitely have some magical abilities in you. I'm sure if you practice, maybe study different kinds of spells.
Oh yeah, I'm going to school. I don't know if you heard.
What? You're. That's good.
Yeah.
You're going to school?
Yeah, like Bard college.
Like a Bard school? Or... Oh.
Oh yeah, it's tuition free.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. None of the colleges I visited were. What's the name of the college?
Oh, I don't know. I'll have to ask Misty. But,
yeah, let me know too.
But oh yeah, go there. Learn new things. I get a family, another family. I never had two families. I've only had one.
Oh.
It's like double the support, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, we have to figure out what's going on with the lake right now. Demira kind of gives Misty this long look.
Okay, I'm going to stay away from the dog then. Okay.
Yeah.
And goes like, oh, my name is Randy, and I want some candy. I'll use this. But he will keep himself distracted.
Can I? Would I know of any sort of religious significance to the location, and such that I don't know? There's like a ritual to be done that talks to Luna, or something that would attract the attention of one of her followers.
Yeah, Luna is kind of tied to water. If you think of like the ocean waning and waxing, but lakes themselves don't necessarily have a specific religious sort, and people can make religious symbology out of anything if they really wanted to sort of ease the mind. So we can go and set up an altar in a bedroom and we can call it religious, right? That doesn't necessarily mean it's exceptionally more religious than anything else in the world, but this seems to be more of a situation of that this lake was simply named after the god, not necessarily because the god had anything to do with it.
Gotcha. In that case, Doc would just kind of be puzzling out a way to invoke forth whatever spirit might be in this lake.
Okay. We'll take a religion check. Yeah, you're not terribly sure what you can do. But
Rolling well tonight.
I think you also see the same movement that Bork saw earlier. There is like a large fish or something within the lake itself.
Anybody good at fishing? We could have quite the dinner tonight. Actually, you know what? Doc's good at fishing. He'll take out his like half-size fishing pole and he'll go try and catch that fish.
That moment you look in your inventory. That's funny. The smallest creature with the smallest fishing pole. What do you use for bait?
I will forage for bait nearby.
Okay. You can find some bugs or something. It's no big deal.
Perfect. Yeah, that'll do.
I have a goblin dog full of bugs.
I can keep those. I don't want to retrieve them.
Okay, so you kind of set yourself out and raise the fishing pole and jet it out, and yeah, and we're sitting here kind of waiting for a good moment or two. Anyone else want to do anything while we're here?
Once Borg fails to find any evidence of the child, he's going to attempt to convince the dog to let him give it a bath with a 6. So the goblin dog, in response to his attempts to give him a bath, scratches himself. So he does
The goblin box thing. Yeah, gotta make
he
a
does this.
fortitude.
And kind of growls a little bit at Bork, who
Yeah, you're good.
ends up giving up and just watching everyone else, see what everyone else is doing, before he finally has an aha moment.
Aha.
They said that this deity likes to dance on the water, yes?
Yes,
Who what? They did? Who's they? Who said this?
I did when I told you all about my vision in the orb.
Oh, there was dancing involved. I must have forgotten that part.
Well, Randy, do you have any instruments?
No, could never afford it.
We'll have to fix that for you. But for now, let's see. And Bork is gonna just try and look around to see if he can get like a makeshift drum, so he's like looking for any kind of like hollow logs or anything like that he could have the boy drum on.
Well, 1 second. So Randy sees you begin to do that, and it's like, oh, we are. Do you like? We can do a beat. Need a beat?
Yeah, let's give that a try. I'll try and make a little beat, and
Oh, let me grab some
make
sticks.
a song.
Let me grab some sticks. Okay. And he runs into the forest and comes back with these sticks and just starts hitting rocks and stuff.
And to add to that, Bork is gonna freestyle beatbox with a 9. So it's like this really sad, like everything you would imagine when a white man tries to be cool and beatbox.
Boots
And
and
who
cat
doesn't know how to.
and boots and cat. And okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Demira will slowly, awkwardly, like inch over to the group and start singing very, very quietly.
Boots
But it's
and
barely
cats
audible.
and boots and cats and boots. Boots, 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 boots.
It's very, very quiet, but it sounds very nice.
Boom, 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 da, da, boom.
We might have actually a dead kid lying somewhere around, and you guys are singing. Very well done.
I looked for the child, didn't see it, so now we're trying to make music for the dizzy to come out and dance.
Solid
This is the
reasoning.
most idiotic thing ever.
Maybe we need to wait for nighttime.
Okay, so I would say that Doc begins to lay out his line, and something catches. I think I'm gonna put you on the just slightly up on the map. That makes a little more sense. Maybe up.
Probably be like up well, honestly, probably be more like out here, but
Yeah, like maybe on that rock. Pull something there, and you catch something. Give me an athletics check.
oh boy, I'm really good at that. Oh wow, I'm really hovering around this 12.
Okay. So something takes a bite of the bait and pulls the fishing pole from you ever so slightly, and you have to like rush to like keep track of it. And you're able to hold on, but you're not able to do much about it. But the thing you see that bites his bait, is just his head kind of bobs above the water. Seems to be this green scaled, almost humanoid looking fish.
Oh, that's horrifying.
And is currently fighting against you. So at this point, it does have fingers, so he's going to pull the actual hook out of it, and he's trying to pull you into the water.
I release my fishing pole as a free action.
Okay, yeah, so he takes the fishing pole.
And Doc's like, hey, what the heck, guy?
And he disappears
mine.
into the water.
He looks back to the group and is like, some fish person just stole my fishing rod.
You could have stole your arms.
I mean, he could have stole many things, but he stole my fishing rod.
I hate it when that happens.
So,
That's happened to you before?
Well, let's not get into that.
I think, from like a folklore perspective, Doc will recognize this as a like almost like a sea monster. Sometimes they're called sea devils in folklore. But I will take a history check from anybody who wants to see if they can find out some more.
There is no such thing as history anymore.
Yeah.
You mean society?
I have bardic lore.
Yeah, let's
Oh,
do
yeah, there's
bardic lore or folklore or something to that extent if we have it.
Demira studied.
Is it just her? Okay,
I don't got
Oh,
nothing.
22.
Nothing that would be applicable,
cool.
unless
Nice.
survival counts.
Yeah, so
What is Arcana?
Arcana is specifically for magic.
Uh-huh.
Right. Demir, you saw like a brief glimpse of this kind of like bluish gray scaled creature. Seems to have like a red mane on its head. And you look at it and you're trying to pause, and these are creatures that are commonly known as a sea devil, but more accurately, they are people who have become established to the water. As in they have been forced to kind of adapt. And they adapt most of the time by water breathing spells and transformations into these fish-like creatures. That slowly begins to turn them into what these are. So if you take a wizard cast water breathing on a target, and he does it every day for a year, he begins to take the traits of what is commonly known as a sea devil. He is not innately magical, but it has been slowly affected by the magic to sort of change their. And we can think of it as DNA, but Demir will probably have a more fantasy-esque term to think of it as. We can think of it probably as mutants. They are mutated to fit this role.
Would Demira know if they like retain their language?
Quite possibly. These creatures tend to be on the shore, though. They do not usually happen in the lakes. So they should regain some of their humanity. They should regain like recognition of faces they recognize, but they do not necessarily can associate a human as a sentient creature or anything like that. So, you know, if it was like your long lost brother, maybe your brother can recognize you, but it probably won't recognize the person next to you.
Oh, I know what that is.
Well, do tell.
Oh, it's a sea devil. Well, that's the kind of crude name for them. They're, so when the magical effects of water breathing, if you constantly cast it on somebody for a long period of time, like a year, and they're exposed to the water, they begin to mutate into this sort of creature of the water, so that they used to be a person, but they'd only be able to recognize somebody that they knew before this transformation. Otherwise, it'll be pretty hard to communicate with them, I think.
So wait, that might be the boy.
Oh, it could be.
It seems like an accursed fate.
It would take some time. Did we know how long this boy is missing?
Days.
Couldn't have been a year, not if they were calling the god from a local town to help.
No,
Unless,
not that
unless
long.
unless there was something else to speed up the process, it's very unlikely.
Like a demi-goddess of water?
Yeah.
Assuming
But
such
she
a
isn't-
thing resides here.
She isn't really a demigoddess of the water. She's the moon maiden, but
I don't think there is a difference.
Well, did you want to come and dance for it, and maybe it will bring her forward, perhaps?
I think that's a good idea. Demira, you should dance for it.
To be fair, Bork and Demir probably know formal dances.
like alone? I don't like. She was dancing in the
Well?
water, and I don't think I could do that.
Alright then.
Tamira tries to step onto the water curiously.
Like, you take off your shoes or your boots, or are you going full leather?
Oh yeah,
I don't know.
she'll take off her shoes and like hitch up her skirt and tie it off and try to step out over the water.
Yeah. You begin to take a step, and you take another step as the water is cool on your feet, and you. How long does detect magic last for?
Probably not long. It's as long as she holds the spell. pretty much.
It's a cantrip, so as long as she wants to, pretty much.
You holding the spell?
She'll keep it up while she's looking around.
Sure. Take another step and another step, and suddenly, it feels like you can see magic pulsating around your feet. It seems to be reacting to your step, your presence in the water.
She'll start trying to dance out to the center, I guess.
The center is quite a far ways away, and it'll probably
Just in
go
that direction.
too deep for you. But you begin to move out, and we can see two things begin to happen. One, first and foremost, everyone else can see these sea creatures beginning to maneuver around the area. And secondly, we begin to we see a ripple within the water, as if someone tossed a rock and it begins to extend outward, but without any clear cause of what could have caused this weight into the water. How does Demira maneuver?
She'll try to mimic the dance she saw in her orb.
Okay.
In the crystal ball.
So my headcanon viewed that very similar to ballet. It was a lot of turning, a lot of being on the tips of your toes, and we will see the ripples increase, but we also see that is attracting some of these sea devil creatures. How does the party want to react?
I think Fork is going to watch with a big, dumb, goofy grin on his face while she dances. And then he's eventually going to try and join in awkwardly as well. So he's just kind of like, at first he's just swaying back and forth. And then he starts, doing like maybe a bit of ballet work with her. So while she's got that 14th performance going on, he's going to attempt to dance with her with a 4. So it's like this really, really heavy, awkward, like just goofy, as he's just attempting to dance like she's dancing with a big goofy smile on his face.
At the shore, or is he gonna?
No, yeah, he's still at the shore. He's right at the edge of the shore, like right there.
So is Doc still on that rock?
Yes, unless the things are getting closer to him.
The things are getting closer to Mira.
He's not particularly worried about his position. He puts him closer to them, but are they moving with like a like are they stalking Demira like a cat would stalk a bird, I guess?
Sense motive is what, perception now?
Yeah.
What perceive for me? I mean, they're definitely moving towards Demira. Their intentions are still kind of, their intentions are almost animalistic, so it's hard to tell.
Yeah, Doc's gonna stay there. He's just going to, I guess, quietly prepare to cast a spell if he needs to.
So, what happens at this point is we see one of these creatures begin to stalk up towards Demira, and Demira is in the stance, and it finally catches out the center of her eye that one of them is maybe 30 feet from her. And from behind, we look out towards the forest, or the camera pans out towards the forest, and this single arrow begins to fly high and land right into this creature, just 30 feet away from Demir's there, and we can see this creature begin to bleed out.
Roll for initiative.
Alright.
Doc is ready to act today.
I believe it.
+2 to mine.
Got it. Doc, you have seen this arrow come up, you see it arc, you see it land in the creature's flesh, and you see their personalities kind of shift as they get a little angrier. You are first act. A little far away for that magic weapon, aren't you?
Only... It's nothing that all 3 of my move actions couldn't fix.
Dang it.
Don't
Next time.
worry, it's not the first thing on Doc's mind today. Doesn't necessarily want to fight, but the choice has probably been made for him. So we're gonna spend 1 action to move away. We'll spend another action to move next to Misty. And let's see. I don't have any 1-action spells, do I? I do. I have message. Oh boy. I don't think message is going to be particularly helpful. I will use my last action to draw my hand crossbow.
Nice.
And that'll do it for me.
I think Bork at the very least can see movements coming from behind him. He can see this flash of pink moving forward as we see another arrow beginning to fly as Kashara enters the scene. Take another shot.
Nice. 20.
Ooh, she's so awesome.
But only 4 points of damage. Still, though.
Not
20.
14?
What's that?
Oh, I
So-
thought it's 14.
Yeah, 20 will miss.
20 misses.
20
What?
misses.
Oh, now I'm
Have a
stressing.
thick hide.
Now I'm stressing a little.
Fluffy, you're up. So this arrow's gonna come out.
Alright.
It's going to run there, and you can see her accuracy is impeccable, but the armor of the creature just doesn't pierce that. It just gives a little nick, seemingly unaffected.
Alright, let me check the movement real quick of the goblin dog. 40 feet, so you can move 2 more this round. So there. And then his second movement action, he's gonna run over to Misty.
Demira?
And or
Demira.
Demira, rather. Sorry, Demira. Yeah. And once he's over at Demira, he's just gonna wag his tail next to her and just kind of yip at them, and ready his final action to bite anyone that comes next to Demira. So he's acting like a guard dog, but really he's more in a playful mood. Still though, he's there, ready
Okay.
to attack.
Demira, roll fortitude save, please.
Oh boy.
21.
Nice. So, you feel like you're about to sneeze, and you are able to resist that temptation. Okay, cool. Demir, you are up.
Alright, Demira stops dancing and looks around kind of shocked, and then she sees Kashara, and she sort of sighs and looks back at the creatures.
They haven't acted yet, and no one's fought them yet. So technically, you could try diplomacy, and if it fails, just hold your action for their turn.
I mean,
If they attack you, attack
arrows were drawn and shot.
How
Oh,
about she just goes
unaffiliated.
out of the water?
That's true.
Yeah, just leave the dog in there.
Yeah, leave the dog and go.
Demira sort of holds up her hands and looks at the closest one. Would you know if they can understand her? Right, they understand the language they knew in life, right?
They probably understand to a degree. They will pick out words. Your best bet is probably more tone of voice than actual communication.
She looks at the creature and says, I'm very sorry about the arrows. There's no need for us to fight. I can heal that one. As long as you're not going to hurt us.
You can go ahead and make a, what is it, diplomacy in this game? Against their will.
Okay.
Nice. The one that you were talking to that hasn't been hit yet, kind of settles down and understands that tone of voice you have. The one that was hit seems pretty angry still, but at least one of them is stagnant at the moment. We'll call this one action to do this.
She's going to look at the other one and switch the range of this. Okay, yeah, she doesn't have to go up to it. She, cradling the crystal ball in one hand, she reaches out towards the wounded creature and starts chanting, and her hand glows with this light, and then it sort of drifts over towards the creature as she casts Soothe.
What does Soothe do? Grace?
Massive 5 healing.
And she just repeats, we don't need to fight. Kashara, stand down.
So let's see, it says you grace the target's mind, boosting its mental defenses and healing its wounds. The target regains 1d10 plus 4 hit points.
Okay, so I guess my question is, it does say one willing creature, and like, I'm not crazy to think that anyone would be willing to get healing, right? Is that?
No, I mean, theoretically, they'd be willing as long as they're not superstitious or something. Like if they're going, what is she doing? Then maybe it will save.
Because yeah, cinematically, all you're doing is kind of speaking words of comfort.
And then glowing white healing energy is coming from her hand. She said, so I mean.
Are
Yeah.
they particularly good at identifying magic?
I don't know if enough was given away for them to even identify it was magic.
Well, that's what I'm talking about, yeah.
Yeah. No, they are not. So this one will kind of relax as well, at least for the brief moment. Nice. That was a good
Good combat session.
This is a short combat. You guys called it, just not in the way I was thinking of.
I mean, we could always. Bork doesn't know much. All he knows is there's threat. So if you want, I could just have him charge in and attack.
I
Anyway.
mean, Demira did speak out loud and
Oh,
called
yeah,
back
she
to
did.
Kashara.
But if
She
someone
does
doesn't
stand
care
down.
what Demira said,
Yeah.
But if
like
anyone-
me,
Yes, that
so
is true.
I still have an action.
Sure, we'll see what happens. Is that all 3 actions for you?
Yep.
All right, cool. This creature here is going to be able to swim pretty dang fast up to this square here as its first action, and is going to continue to move. It's going up to Demira and just like sniff your armpit as its action.
Okay.
Still holding, it does have a trident, so still holding the trident, but it's not actively poking you or anything like that with the pointy end.
we will leave the other two there for now. I think they're going to ready in action if they get attacked. If they get attacked, they will throw a trident at something.
I think with it approaching Demira as a free action, Fluffy goes from wagging his tail to.
It's
Horrible goblin dog noises.
Fluffy, it's fine. He's just sniffing me.
Misty.
Okay, so when I see that this creature is approaching Demira, of course I see that it's sniffing her. Well, whatever. Yeah, I have like standing up from that branch. Is that an action?
I don't think we have to worry about that. You're not prone or anything, so Ian, no action to stand up.
Okay, so I want to move a bit here. Not deep, into the water. If I understand correctly, it's still like very.
Yeah,
not deep.
It's pretty shallow up until maybe this area up here.
Okay, so I move while I'm moving. Like while I'm moving at the same time, I want to shout, "Demira, get the fuck out of the water!" And I take my hand crossbow, and I shoot at this creature.
They aren't fighting us.
They are now. Go ahead and roll.
Don't remember what I'm supposed to roll. Where do I need to click? Hand crossbow on that thing?
Yeah, on the left side of the character sheet. There's yeah, you got it.
So it's a 16.
16 will miss. Would you like to take your second shot at him? Be at a -5.
What is this 1d6 plus 0? Oh, never mind. Do I again click hand crossbow?
Correct.
Mhm.
Yeah.
15 minus 5, so that'd be a 10.
Yeah, terrible.
Whoop, whoop.
Womp womp.
Are you trained with a hand crossbow?
Are you real? What do you mean by that? I don't get it.
That's a very low bonus to attack. We'll have to take a look at that at some point.
Maybe I missed something?
That doesn't look right to me. We'll look at it later. No, your roll, the thing you rolled was correct, but your bonuses don't look correct. We'll look at it after the session.
All right.
Demira wrote, she will turn towards Misty, clearly preparing to defend the creatures.
I like it. Let's say the reason why these attacks don't hit is from Demira's actions. What will Demira do? If that's okay with you.
Demira will move in front of the creature defensively, and just all she could really do, I guess, is hold up her crystal ball to block the arrows.
Yeah, we'll do that. We'll say he can move this 5-foot square as a reaction. That's cool.
Okay.
Okay, get away from Fluffy too. My allergies are acting up, but clearly Fluffy has problems.
Same.
Bork.
Alright, so Bork is going to move. It looks like he's going to have to make 2 movements. But he takes 2 movements to get next to Tamir while pulling his weapon from his side. And then once he's there, he's going to ready an attack should Misty's action cause us to go back into combat. So the moment the creature goes to make any hostile movements, Bork's gonna kill him.
Duck.
So just real quick, mechanically speaking, it takes 2 actions to ready an action. Just so everyone knows.
Oh, does it?
Really?
Oh, it's just one.
It does. It takes.
Okay.
I thought it took your action and reaction.
It does take your reaction. It takes 2 actions to ready an action, and then your reaction to respond to the trigger.
Okay, cool. Well, we can do it like this for now, and then next turn we will make sure.
So seeing this situation sort of change, Doc isn't necessarily worried about these things, although when Demira turns around to address Misty, Doc's like, "What are you doing? Don't put your back to it." And grasping his holy symbol, he will cast Forbidding Ward.
You ward an ally against the attacks and hostile spells from the target enemy. Target ally against +1 against the targets. So specifically targeting the enemy. I see.
Demira is the target against the enemy that's directly adjacent to her. And for a brief moment, there's a little shell of golden light that illuminates into existence. It's got a sigil of the sun on it before it fades into typical magical etherealness.
Great. So you begin to use divine magic. Your hell-marked, I don't want to say it causes you pain, but it causes you irritation. Just for a brief moment as you do that.
Yeah.
30 feet away. So bright light comes in there, and there's now the Forbidding Ward. You have one more action.
Doc will he'll pass that action.
Okay. I'm gonna have Kashara perceive and see if she can figure out what's going on. We'll make the DC 18, and then we'll see what happens. That's a fair point. We'll lower the DC. We'll go 16. We'll do 16. 18 was good. Kashara readies an action to fire. Fluffy.
Fluffy spends 1 action to move over and sniff the creature, and then uses an action to hold an action to attack should it become aggressive.
Sure. I'm gonna read this ability real quick. Blood Frenzy. The Sea Devil is not fatigued, already in a frenzy. The Sea Devil flies into a frenzy in the last 1 minute. Blah, 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 blah. Gains 7 temp HP. Trigger. That's what I'm looking for. Trigger. The Devil deals bleed damage to a living creature. Great. Demir, you're up. My apologies.
Demira looks at Misty and holds up a hand and says, Misty, stop attacking them. Are you going to stop attacking them?
Can I answer, or do I need to wait for my action?
You're eating on mic, by the way. Yeah, go ahead. Let's say that line again, Demira, and then I'll let you respond right after.
Right. Demira raises a hand towards Misty and says, Misty, stop attacking them. Are you going to stop attacking them?
And what are we going to do? Talk to those mindless creatures?
They aren't fighting us. We can just let them go about their business.
Well, why they're not going out then, away?
We'll end the 6 seconds there.
Demira prepares. Can she prepare, use her 3 actions to prepare to cast a 2-action cantrip?
Let me look it up. Read actions, Pathfinder 2E.
I linked it in the Discord.
Just. You can prepare an action. You can prepare to use an action that will occur outside your turn. Choose a single action or free action designated trigger. So it is a single action ability. You can delay. You can delay your turn. I'll let you delay.
Okay. She holds up a hand and it begins glowing slightly, but she's gonna delay her turn to see what Misty does.
Okay.
And it's pointed towards Misty.
Okay. I think all the sea devils are gonna run up to Fluffy and just kind of like try to figure out what it is, try to look at it, and then Achoo! Achoo! Productive fight, guys. Misty.
So, Misty will just say, all this is simply bullshit and a waste of time. And she would kind of almost like spit and, onto the ground and turn around, and she goes away.
Okay. Orc, are you going to attack?
They're not making any hostile moves at this point, and Fluffy seems to be loving them to death. He's over there just jumping around and going, and sniffing at them, and he seems to be happy. So at this point, I think Bork would I don't think he'd stow his weapon, but he would definitely lower it down to his side and just kind of look back and forth between Demira and Misty and over to the creatures, and he would just step down. He'd stand down, yeah. Just kind of like taking it all in, just like, oh no, what's gonna happen here?
Demira slowly lowers her arm and it stops glowing, and she's visibly trembling as she turns away towards the other creatures.
Okay.
Doc is gonna sustain that forbidding ward for its duration.
The full minute.
Yeah.
Does that require concentration at all? Curiosity.
It requires 1 action to sustain. So he's
Great.
constantly sitting there focusing on it.
Okay. Let's perceive, please.
That's an 18 for me.
Everyone, or
Sorry,
am I
16
too
for
far?
me.
I think everyone can perceive. Nice. Not far enough.
What? 25 is not. Oh, never mind.
Yeah,
You see an elf.
yeah. Bork, perceive, please.
Oftentimes, he never perceives the world around him, and this continues with a 6. In complete contrast to Misty's 25, Bork is once more, as always, completely oblivious.
Great. So, Doc, Misty, as Misty begins to turn around, she sees something in the sky, and we can see it bolt real quickly. It has a wingspan, probably a bird of some sort, but it does seem to be a little larger than what you would expect. And as it goes there, it's hard to put out its minute details, but it seems to be a black bird with like white tips on its feathers. As it jets down, it flies directly to the center of the lake, and Doc and Misty are well aware of this bird creature beginning to shapeshift into this humanoid form, this gray-skinned woman with long white hair, with this sword in her right hand, standing there, looking towards the coastline. And we will fade to black here.